What's going on, guys? Welcome back to new video, Zeb Monopoly. Today's video we're going to talk about the biggest loss that I've made in trading, because we don't really talk about these things. We always talk about how much money we made, but understand one thing, guys: every single person will make a loss, whether it's a profitable trader or a beginner. Everybody will make losses. The only difference between a beginner and a profitable trader is that a beginner will let his losses exceed his profits, while the other person, the profitable trader, will let his profits exceed his losses. And that's because he can cut his losses quick. So my biggest loss was $4,000 or euro. It was euro, guys. And I know exactly what I've done wrong here. I know exactly the mistakes that I've made, and the majority of people watching or anybody interested in trading, you will make those mistakes. So it's important to work on these before it's too late and you get discouraged and get wiped out. And these things are to do with us. It has nothing to do with the market. So we can actually manage these and we can work on these things. So nowadays, when I look at losses in trading, I don't actually see them as losses, but I look at them as an expense. The expense of running a business, right? So let's have a look here. Here is a grocery store. It has inventories, it has taxes, it has to pay VAT, it has to pay employees, rent, whatever, the rent for the premises, and also it has to buy the inventories. So that's so many expenses. Luckily for trading, we don't have that many expenses. The only expense of trading is that, hey, we're wrong. We have to accept the defeat, and that is the mistakes that we make because of our bad analysis, and that is the expense of running this trading thing. So for me, I don't look at it like a loss, I look at it like an expense. So at the end of the month, I've got my profit and losses sheet. My profits should exceed my losses, and I can come out profitable if I can manage my losses properly. So the only difference between a beginner and a profitable trader is that a beginner can't manage losses properly, and he's gonna make those mistakes that I'm gonna talk about today. So what is the first mistake that I personally made and you guys make also all the time? And we talked about this, whether it's on this YouTube channel or in my course, but the mistakes that we make all the time is revenge trading. Revenge trading, guys, that's the worst thing you can do, and that's exactly how I lost my money. So I would go into a stock, I would make my trade, the stock market will prove me wrong, and I would be too arrogant in taking that loss. So then what I would do is I would hold on, I would lose money, and then I would try to recoup that money once again, and I jump in again into the market, and guess what? I lose even more money. The majority of people do that. They will trade at the bell of the stock market, and that's where the volume is. That's the only way you're going to be profitable, is if you trade the volume. And then you want to go in midday, for example, with no strategy. You don't even know what you're doing, so you just put your money in anything and say, yeah, it's gonna go up, and then it goes even down, and you lose money, and then that adds up, and then you can't even recoup that money anymore, so you get discouraged, and then you just wiped out half of your account. And that's exactly the mistake that I was making. Revenge trading, losing money, going back in, trying to recoup that money that I just lost. Now that's one. Second one, bravery. I was being too brave, right? So obviously we focus on the reward rather than the risk. Majority of us will look at the reward rather than the risk. So we'll say, yeah, I can make that much money if I buy that many shares, right? So you buy that many shares, so your position size is so big that your account even can't handle it. So the stock goes against you, and you end up losing money, and you get wiped out, and now you can't even buy any more shares. Position sizing, guys. We buy so many shares that we can't even handle. I.e., we're not looking at the loss and being like, yeah, what if the stock goes against me and I make that much loss? What's gonna happen to me at night? Can I sleep, or can my account actually take it? So we're not willing to kind of manage our positions. We just want to go in with as much shares as possible and buy as much stocks as possible, because we believe that if the stock market goes in our favor this time, we can make $1 million in the space of a few hours, right? That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's being too greedy and too brave. At one stage of your life, you will get good at trading, and you will try to kind of size your positions even larger. That the loss you take isn't gonna be I guess healthy for you, whether it's your account or your sleeping pattern, whatever, because you're going to be stressing over that, and you can't come back from that loss. So make sure to size your positions. If you want to trade, look at your shares, Okay, say to yourself, I'm gonna buy 200 shares in this trade. If the stock market goes against me, I lose $200. If it goes against me by $1, if it goes in my favor and it goes up by $2, I get to make 400. So my risk is higher than my reward is higher than my risk, but also my risk is very limited and I'm managing my risk properly. So if you do incur that loss, take that loss and put it on your balance sheet and say that is the expense of running this business today. It's important that we do these things, guys. Don't get wiped out. I mean, obviously I make losses nowadays, and every single person, profitable or not, you will make losses also. And the reason behind that is, well, we can't control the market, but that is the expense of running the business. We put it on our balance sheet. Tomorrow we make even more money. As soon as we cut our losses, we're cutting them quick, so we're not letting them, loose so they can make even more losses, and then we can't even come back from that loss. But yeah, we're taking the $20, $50, $100, $200 loss, whenever it occurs, because that's the way we run a business. That's the way we trade. So $4,000 euro was lost because of those two things. It was because of revenge trading, trying to recoup the money that I lost, and trading without a strategy and just jumping into the market without knowing what to do. And the second one was I was being too brave. My position size was so large that I couldn't take it personally. My account couldn't take it, and I wiped out 30% of my account in the space of 4 days. Before that, I was making losses, but I was happy, and it wasn't, I was making 20, 40, 100 loss, but I was still recouping that money. But then when I made that 4,000, that was the biggest thing ever. But today, I'm glad that these losses happened, especially that loss, because I wouldn't be the person I am today. Alright, so let's manage losses, let's manage our profits, let's manage emotions, let's manage the revenge trading part of things, because you can't trade with your heart. It always has to be with your brain, guys. If you let your heart get into your business, then my God, you will lose money, right? So that's all I'm gonna say in this video, guys. Hopefully you kind of got value in this, because you can relate to some of the things, and I know you will, because you make those same mistakes over and over again. But just remember, the only difference between a beginner and a profitable trader is that this profitable trader cuts his losses quick, and the beginner doesn't know when to take losses, doesn't know when to say I'm wrong, because they think the market owes them something. So let's start being that profitable trader by managing risk. Don't look at the reward 24/7. No, look at the risk and say, if I lose 50 cents on that share, then I make a 500 loss and my account is 1,000. That's how much is in my account, 1,000, and I make 500 loss, so I just wiped out 50% of my trading account. Obviously, you're going to turn around and say, trading is not for me, and you wonder why many traders fail. Well, it's because of these things. And obviously, I made a video on that several times. But yeah, hopefully you get value in this video, guys. Follow me on Instagram at SimplyZed if you haven't already. Show your boy some love with the thumbs up. And like I said, this week you're in for a treat, because we're going to make a lot of these videos until I go back home and travel again or whatever. We'll see where life takes us. But yeah, I'll see you next time for more videos, guys.